Begin to go on Daf Mesech Kesuvos Shas Cotton Daf Gimel. Begin 11 lines down at the top of the Yomid, where we opened up from the previous Daf. We had mentioned it came into the discussion of this halacha Besul Nisr Lim Revi, which one of the related components is a Mishnah Daf Zayin. That if you're getting married on a Wednesday, that means to say on Sunday you couldn't get married because of Shaktu. So therefore, although the 12 months has already reached, you're not going to have to go ahead and give her mezainis. That we said, so Rabbi said by extension, all types of ayinsin you're not going to have to. Cholahu, chalsahi, personida. And then the Gemara said, says Rava, regarding Gittin, it's not like that. Your claim of aynis is not going to be valid, and that's not going to nullify this tonight that you had regarding the get. And that's where our Gemara concluded that source of Rava regarding that the halacha of ein aynis begin. And now the Gemara is going to bring a second version that to the contrary, that actually yesh aynis begin. That's just a different version of Rava. Shiur corresponds to Kazich and Cheskel to anytime that V'chem Peshem is joining us in today's daf. Some doesn't discuss in today's daf are this concept of ein aynis begin. That regarding gittin, we don't take a claim of aynis that it was beyond your control, and therefore it's not valid to nullify the get. In today's daf, we're going to discuss several exceptions to Besul Nisr Lim Revi. Although we said that the virgin gets married on a Wednesday, we'll find certain exceptions when that's not necessarily the rule. We have this one version of yesh aynis begin, one version of ein aynis begin. The concept of afkinu rabban lekedushin, that the rabbis have the ability to remove the kedushin that was done, whether it be with kesef or whether it be with bia. Halach of shaktu. There's actually two different types of shaktu. The word shaktu just really means to say that, like the word of shkida, of a shaktan, just to be diligent. But one of the shaktu is regarding that, to make sure that the Bnei Yisrael have that the preparation is going to be for 3 days. Also the concept shepamayim b'Shabbos but the din yishim vayaris b'yom b'chamisha, that 2 times a week the courts were instituted by Ezra Sefer to be on Mondays and Thursdays, and therefore that's important regarding the day when you're going to get married, regarding the time of Besul. So as we said, we had a first version of Rabbah that said ein aynis begin, which ultimately the Gemara ended up explaining that the reason why it's going to be a get, even though really biblically aynis is a claim, like it says in the Torah, l'nar l'sasa davar, aynis really should nullify the get, but rabbinically they made it into get because of what's called snuas and prutzes. Because if you're going to say that it's not a get, sometimes it's not going to be aynis, she's going to be so afraid, she's going to be obsessing, maybe something happened, she's not going to get married, she's going to be a guna, and also because of the prutzes, because you're going to say it's not a get, then sometimes it really was an aynis, and she's going to say it's not an aynis, she's going to go ahead and get married, it comes that gets bottle, her children mamzerim, and therefore we said no, rabbinically it's going to be a get. We're going to ask, how could it be biblically a get, not a get, and because of the snus and prutzes, you're going to see you can admit Ishes l'alma. So the Gemara says, very important concept, man the Mekadosh, that died to the Rabban Mekadosh, of Kin Rabban the Kedusha Minei. That's why we say Kedas Moshe, Yisrael, on the Chuppah, that if you Mekadosh Bekaspa, they say Hefka Bezin Hefka, you gave her a gift, that means you were never married. Or Be'ila, they say Rabban made the Be'ila into a Bila's nose. So that was all in the first version. Now we begin, 11 lines down at the top of the Amid, with Ikeda Ami. Those that say that what we have mentioned in the first version, that meaning when Rabbi Yosef had said Lafikach, Rabbi Yosef had explained that that halal, the Mishnah Daf Zayin, of saying that the husband Noch Hayom and Mitzvah, when it's already a year but it didn't reach Wednesday yet, that you're saying that then you don't have to feed. Said Rabbi Yosef, so all types of aynis you don't have to, because we make a taina of aynis regarding the obligation of bezaynis. So on that, those say Omer Rava, the opposite of the first version, that the chema in a gittin, that the same thing applies regarding a divorce document, that if you made it tonight in the get, to say that if I'm not here, let's say you're back within 12 months or 30 days, whatever it is, and he's like, hello, I'm here, it's just there was an aynis that happened that he can't get back. So the same thing would happen, that it actually would uproot the get, it would not be a valid get. Says the Gemara, Al Maksav Rava, and this is again, the Gemara is going to go through the whole thing it went through, just in the reverse. I actually taste the proofs from here that the halacha is like the mandam ein aynis begitten, because we see that basically they're all being supported, and in this version of Al Maksav Rava yesh aynis begitten, that we do have a claim of aynis begitten, the Gemara is now going to use all those supports and ask from all those Tanoic sources. Basically, the Gemara is from Mishnah Masechet is gittin. Again, it's really repetition of the previous daf. Instead of supporting the mandam of the version of ein aynis begitten, it's me asking on the version of saying yesh aynis begitten. So we're not going to be explaining it so well because it's really, like Rashi himself doesn't comment again because we said it's this old repetition of the previous daf. Meisvei, the Gemara says in the Mishnah says it's gittin. The husband tells says, well, if this is your get, If I don't come back here within 12 months, she dies within 12 months, so the Mishnah said, they didn't get. It's not a get. So the Gemara makes a diuk. Meishu didn't get. Sounds like, oh, if he dies, not a get, because obviously a dead man cannot divorce. Hachala, but let's say he didn't die, let's say he just became sick. Sounds like how is a get? It would be a get. But wait a second, wait a minute, why is he made get? It's oinus. He couldn't come. He came down with some type of disease or whatever, this and that. So you see that ain't oinus begin. You see not like this version of Rabbi that says yes oinus begin. So the Gemara says no, not a raya. Truthfully, I can tell you, chala name ain't again. The truth is, if he becomes sick, it's also not a get because we do say oinus begin. That's gonna say that it's beyond your control and it's not a valid tanai of the get. But we wanted to teach you this itself. The ain't get lacha mesa. We wanted to tell you that even without the halacha of the nullification of the condition, simply the fact that you can't give a get lacha mesa. Says Gemara, ain't get lacha mesa. That's what you have to teach me, that a get cannot take effect after death. Hatan reisha, the reisha of that mission says is getting already taught that concept of ain't get lacha mesa. What do you need to have the sefer teaching you regarding the case of a tanai? Isn't it obvious that it's only because of death and not because of the illness, and that's the diuk? Says Gemara, no. Maybe it's coming to exclude from the opinion of Rabbi Seinu that even though it has the date written in the get, that still we're not going to say like Rabbi Yossi that it's going to be mehayoy from today, and therefore then you would say it's not a get lacha misa taking effect from today; it's retroactive. That's what I have to tell you. No, another. Yeah, we already told you Engel Lacha Misa, but it's an added chiddush in the seif of Engel Lacha Misa that even though the date is in the document, you would say that's not Lacha Misa. It's taken effect from today. No, it is going to be considered Engel Lacha Misa. So again, it's not a raya that you see, but it's only not chala. No, could be chala too. We just want to tell you the added halacha of Engel Lacha Misa. I told you in the ratio of Engel Lacha Misa. Yeah, but I'm telling you extra chiddush in the seif that even though it has a date, it's not going to be from today. And then it's going to get lachamisa. Okay, so Tashma. Let's try to bring a raya not like this version of Rava from the end of that mission over there. The mission there says Tashma mi'achshav. If let's say he says it should be from now, not lachamisa. From now you should be divorced. If I don't make it back in within 12 months, she dies within 12 months. So on that said the mission over there hadez a get. So it's going to be a get, even though obviously it's an oinus. Ein lecha oinus gadol mizeh, right? He's dead. So obviously he can't get back in time. And still you're saying that it's going to be a get. Now, of course it's going to be a get. It's not get lacha misa, because it's taking effect retroactive from he said me'achshav. But one thing is, you see, my lab, hoadin lachala, meaning even if he's sick, of course it's going to be a get, because the oinus, the fact that he couldn't come because he's dead, will not nullify it. Right? There's two elements when someone dies. There's the get lacha misa part. That's not a problem because not lacha misa taking effect retroactive. But my whole condition was I'm not back within 12 months. I can't make it back. I'm dead. Right? So obviously it shouldn't be a get if you held yesh get lacha. If you hold yesh oinus begitten, there's no bigger oinus than them being dead. So from the fact that you see that when he's dead, for sure when he's just sick, then we're going to say it's going to be a get. That's not like Rava. Says the Gemara, no, maybe specifically when he dies, maybe I'll hold yesh oinus begin. If you hold yesh oinus begin, then he's an oinus. Why are you saying that it's a get? No, specifically when he dies. That he doesn't want her. Why is he even writing this get? He loves this wife, but he's going on a big business trip. He's like, I don't want you to have to. We don't have children, and if he dies without any children, she have to fall in front of the yibum. So he doesn't want that. So therefore, he doesn't want this kind of oinus to work for him. He doesn't want this to nullify the condition. If I'm not back, you only say I'm not back. I don't want to really divorce you. It's just if I'm not back, okay, you can marry on. As long as he's dead, he wants that not to work. But if he becomes sick, he's like, hello, I don't want it to be this get to work. I just can't get back because I'm not well. So it's not a raya. It could be you could hold yesh oinus begitten, and by chala taka it would not work. Here it's by mess. Then he actually wants it to work.
And then he should have said in mati,
Stipulate.
Stipulated that.
Yeah, I hear. Yeah, the question is you have to articulate everything.
No, it seems to include other possibilities. That's
I hear. I mean, why from the fact that it doesn't mention it. Yeah. I guess some things you don't have to say that, or it's obvious, or. Says another Rama, someone said to them, says, look, if I'm not back within 30 days, let it be a get. Also, and he came back within 30 days. And the boat was already, the ferry already left. Said, look, I'm here. Says, no, you didn't make it back. Obviously, you see, you can't make a claim of Einus. It's not going to work. Not like Rava. Well, no, a common, frequent Einus, which is missing the boat, is something that people have all the time. Keeping the boat last me, he should have stipulated that in case that happens, that he misses the boat and he doesn't stipulate. So he's causing the loss for himself. In other words, we won't qualify that as an Einus. Taisa has three categories of Einus. Very shchiach, not shchiach, middle grade. He discusses regarding different things about kapanim. This is not considered as an Einus that we would go ahead and allow you to claim. It could be, if it was an Einus that's not shchiach, we actually would say yes, Einus begin. So we have not refuted the second version of Rava. So that was the two different versions of Rava regarding if yes, Einus begin, Einus begin. That again, that came in because of, we spoke about Einsin regarding the halacha of Besul Nislim and Revi, that we said that if, let's say, the 12 months are up on the Sunday, although we say after 12 months you have to feed, as we'll see in the Mishnah in Zion, that's not because on Sunday. This is Nashman Shilk. We can't get married. The Chacham say you get married Wednesday. And that Rabbi says, oh, if Einus gets you up the hook, they don't have to feed her, so then there's Bazar, Chalahu, Chalseim, person, all the different things. What can I do? It's beyond my control. And that's what Rabbi says. That's regarding Mezainis. Regarding Gittin, I don't know, we're going to let it tie Einus. That's two different versions of Rava. If in Gittin that you do say or you don't say, Einsin, that was two different versions. Now we go back to the primary halacha of the Mishnah that we opened up these words of this Masechta, Besula Nisis Revi, that the virgin gets married on the Wednesday. The Honor of Shmuel by Yitzchak, he qualifies as Loi Shonu. We didn't learn this, as someone pointed out yesterday. Says, what's all these Sunday weddings that are going on? They're Besulim, what is this? It doesn't say in the opening Mishnah Masechta Kesuvos, they only get married on the Wednesday. So he says, that was element that comes Ezra Elach. That was only from when Ezra HaSefer was Masakin, that She'im Bati Dini Kavuin, that the courts are only established on Muntigedanishtik, on Mondays and Thursdays. But before Ezra made this takana, Shabbat didn't give him that the courts were open every single day, meaning every day is the same. Women could get married every single day. And so the Gemara says, you tell me before Ezra came along, made his takanas, his 10 takanas, my hava. What was. What was before that? So the Gemara says, no, Hachama, we mean to say it's like this. If you're going to have courts today, that's before Ezra was Misak, that the courts are open every single day, then then a woman can get married every single day. Which Tais discusses why every single day, as we'll see that there's an idea about certain brachas on certain days. Tais says that those are not so important. But additionally, Tais brings from the Ri that, but you don't get married on a Friday. The reason very simply is because you're not done in on Shabbos. The whole point of getting married on a certain day is the next morning he's going to be tzehitz. He's going to come into the Rav and he'll say, what is this? She wasn't a basula. On Shabbos, not. But says Tyson, no, even today the custom is even on a Friday because we don't have Badi Din Kivon. If someone has times basulim, he could scream on Shabbos in front of 3 people like any other day of the week. And therefore it doesn't make a difference exactly which day. And the Maisa, that's the Minigayim, that doesn't make a difference what day of the week, because it doesn't make a difference. We don't have only courts on Monday and Thursdays, and especially according to Rashi, it says the whole idea is that word's going to get out, and that's not applicable today. We don't have Bati Dinan in that way, so it wouldn't even help. So therefore, we don't have this primary reason of Besul and Nisislim Revi. So Al Kapanim, that's what the Gemara is qualifying, that it would be even every single day. The problem is the Gemara, how can you say you get married every single day? But a Hobein and Shaktu, you need to have that the person, the chassan, should prepare for the Suda for 3 days. So that is why we said you have to get married on Wednesday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is preparing for the wedding. How can you get married on a Sunday afternoon? If let's say you prepared for before Shabbos, already prepared the needs of the Suda, you can get married on a Sunday or on a Monday because you don't have the problem about Shaktu. So the Gemara continues on the base and says, wait a second, my Shaktu. Where did we ever learn such a concept about the Shaktu? Again, in Talmudic literature, you say one word, it refers to the whole statement. Like we say Sheves, means L'Sheves Yitzchak. You'll say one word, it refers to that thing. Where did you come up with this idea of Shaktu, which is that Shaktu for the Bnei Yisrael that you're asking over here? We had mentioned this on the Beis, that from the teaching of Shmuel, So Rashi explains, you're not going to ask from one Amoyer and another Amoyer. So where'd you come up with this idea, Shog? You're asking how are we saying in this teaching of Rav Shmuel by Yitzchak that you get married any day of the week because we don't have any more Besul Nislim Rabbi. That's only when it used to be. The course only Monday and Thursday. That's when. But now that's open every day of the week. So then it doesn't make a difference. So then what's this question of Shak? Where'd you get this question from? Someone says no. It's actually not only Amarok teaching. It's the Tanya Taka Brisa. The Brisa says name Amar Besul Nislim Rabbi. Why did they say a Besul, a virgin gets married on a Wednesday? Shemhoili times Besul because he has a claim regarding the virginity. Or Yamashkim Labaz, and he would get up and go to the court the next morning. He says the Brisa with the Nasa Bechad Shabbos to get married on a Sunday. The Moile times so he had the claim of the virginity. How you mashkim we get him to the court on Monday. Says the Gemara, says the Brisa no shaktu chachamim. The sages were diligent al takanas b'nei Yisrael regarding the rectification of the Jewish women. She odem terech besuda shleishi yom that a person should prepare for the grace chasna for 3 days. Echad b'Shabbos, v'shein b'Shabbos, v'shli b'Shabbos. You prepare for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but if you can't, and then on Wednesday you get married. But says the Brisa, which is bringing a whole new idea. But from the danger and onwards, which we're going to shortly explain what that is. So the people already accustomed themselves to get married on a Tuesday. The sages did not protest. Now, but on Monday you shouldn't get married, which Rashi explains. He says a different interpretation because of that danger. In other words, you don't have to uproot because of that to the Chachamim from Wednesday, just 1 day, to take it back to Tuesday. And at least you'll be preparing at least for Sunday and Monday. But to take it back 2 days earlier, meaning to Monday, that one shouldn't do. But as because of the rest of the situation which is beyond one's control, which we're going to shortly explain that too, then mutter then is permitted even to do it on Monday. Moreover, continues the Brisa. We're going to explain these elements of the Brisa as we go on, this Daf and the next Daf. We separate the chasam mekala if the first bia is going to fall out on Friday night. We separate the chasam from the kala because he's creating a wound when he's doing this act of bia, and that cannot be done on Friday night and on Shabbos. Okay, that's the end of the Brisa. Now we go back to explain the Brisa. My sakana, you told me that Besul Nisl Yom Revi is supposed to get married on a Wednesday, but you said because of this, when there was a danger, then the people already accustomed themselves to get married on Tuesday. What's this danger? If you think to say it's because they said Besula Nisl Yom Revi when the Besula gets married on a Wednesday, what the decree of the government was Teharig, that they're going to be executed. Shtais goes through to show the differences between what the decrees were. But Al Kapon, they didn't want the Jewish people to do their Jewish law. So he said if a girl gets married on a Wednesday, she's going to be executed. That was the sakana. That's his Tais Nagu. So the words were in the Brisa that, okay, so that the custom became to change it from Wednesday to Tuesday, because you get married on Wednesday, they're going to execute. But that's sakana nafashis. How can you say Nagu to get married on Tuesday? But they didn't totally uproot it. How can you say Ligami Na'akre? This is totally uprooted the takana to get married on a Wednesday and institute another day, because it's a danger to people's lives. The rabbis have an obligation to say we're not doing Wednesday weddings anymore because they're going to get killed. So the rabbi says you're right. No, the Amritz where they said Besula Nisl B'Yom Revi, the virgin that gets married on a Wednesday, Tibor LeHegmen Tchila. So the officer, the generals in that town, he gets first rights to be with that Besula. So that was what the government had decreed. If she's getting married on the Wednesday, that you're going to have bia. So the Gemara says, Hai sakana? That's a danger? Oh, so she's being raped by this officer, this non-Jewish officer, but why are you calling it sakana? Why is it considered as a danger? Says Gemara, I'll tell you why. Is because there are very discreet, modest women. The master nafshai l'ktola that they're going to give themselves over to be killed. They can refuse to be raped by this Greek officer. It's going to come to a situation of danger. Therefore, we're calling it a situation of danger because the women are going to refuse to be violated like this. The kalo b'yam chupasa, that this non-Jewish officer is going to try to abuse her, and therefore it's going to come to a situation of danger. So the Gemara says, but why? Why didn't you just give the Rav gets up and he gives the drasha as Rabbi Sai, we're in Gullus. There's shreklich gezerah that the government made that the Besula has to be Baal Hegman Tchila. But let the Rav get up and say the Einis, that if a woman is raped, that's shari, that she's not forbidden to her husband. The Gemara learns this out later on. It says that if she wasn't grabbed, then she is forbidden. But if she was forced, then she's permitted. And then not going to be Ma'aser Nefesh anymore. The Rav says, he says, that's it. We have to go ahead and that's it. You have to do this. This is what the Jewish people have to go through. So the Gemara says, no. The problem is if the Rav does that, ikaprutzis. Then you have, and this is now you know how great your rabbi is. He always knows he has to say what he has to say because one guy's going to hear one way, the other one, the prutzis, are going to say, oh, so they're going to do it baratzin. He says this is okay. They're going to get excited. This is some opportunity over here that they can be licentiousness and they can be breached in the laws of modesty, and then they're going to be forbidden on their husbands because they're doing it willingly. If you're doing it willingly, you don't have the excuse anymore about ba'inus. So he can't get up and say, Rabbi said this is allowed to be done, and don't worry, because that's the problem. You're gonna take it the other way around. Moreover, says the Gemara, also the economic kahanas. The problem is there are also women who are married to kahanim, even if they're raped, they actually are forbidden to their husbands, and they're going to be Ma'aser Nefesh because Eshes Kohen Shenem says Asur Labalas. The Gemara learns that also there later on in the Nalma Bay. So again, you couldn't ameliorate this by giving a drasha by saying they're permitted, because first of all, Eshes Kohen is not permitted, and also she's going to be Ma'aser Nefesh. So it's still going to be a situation of sakana, and therefore we called it Mishasa sakana was that when they had to be Baal Hagman Tchila, therefore that was going to happen on Wednesdays. So they'll go on to switch it. They stopped having chasna on Wednesdays. The holes are all packed on Tuesdays. So the Gemara says, wait a second. So if that's true, that sometimes it came to a situation of danger, so why didn't the rabbis just uproot the takana? They had this takana of Basula getting married on Wednesday. Uprooted. Say the rabbis came to the rabbinical assembly and they came to this whole thing and they said that that's it. We're changing it from Wednesdays to Tuesdays. Why didn't you uproot it? Why nagu? Says the Gemara, no, because Gezerah Avida de Batla. A decree is ultimately going to be nullified. The Takana de Rabbanan make Gezerah like Krinan. So a rabbinic institution, in place of a Gezerah, we're not going to uproot because of the fact that this is not something that's going to be forever. This is just some edict that they have right now, and therefore they weren't going to totally uproot the Takana for all time. So the Gemara says, but if that's the case, so what does it help by switching the dates of the weddings from Wednesdays to Tuesdays? The governor is going to come on Tuesdays now also, since he knows, he sees something, the hall is packed on Tuesday night, all the Chavim guys are directing traffic now over there, whatever. It doesn't take such an Einstein to realize that the weddings are happening on Tuesday. So he's going to come and he's going to demand his shiur on Tuesdays. So the Gemara, no, misfeka, out of doubt, because it's not a full-fledged established rule from the rabbis. So he's not sure if there's going to be a wedding today in the city. So le'okar nafshe. So he's not going to get up and bring himself to the city to try to go ahead and demand what the gezerah was, because it's not if the rabbis get up and they say they put on big patchkavil and they say this whole thing and everything with that's it, the laws have been changed and now it's Tuesday. So they're okay, now in the books it's Tuesdays, he's going to come on Tuesday. But if it's still on Wednesday, it's just that the olam still hey they're doing now on Tuesdays. So misfeka, he's not going to come to the city. Now we said in the Brisa, now however on Mondays that you're not supposed to get married. Tuesdays yes, but not Mondays. But because the situation of oinus, then mutter, then it's going to be permitted. So the Gemara says, wait a second, my oinus, what's this oinus that you're talking about? And if it's what we just explained, literally oinus in the sense of like oinus in mafata, oinus meaning that the woman gets raped, the kala gets abused by the governor on the day of a wedding. So how could that be? Hasam karle sakane, a line before you called it danger, now you're calling it oinus. That's a very different terminology. Moreover, the difference is Hasam and the way Rashi explains this is there you said nagu, which sounds like most of the people, like nagu, they were noyig. I said most of the people had this custom to do it on an earlier time to Tuesday. And Hacham mutter, here you're using the wording of mutter, which sounds like that if let's say an individual comes to consult with the courts, they're going to permit him to get married on Monday. But it sounds like that, but not nagu, that as if it's not so severe. So it sounds like it's not the same thing. From switching from sakana to einus, and also from switching from nagu to mutter. So what is this einus that you're referring to that allows the wedding to be done on a Monday? So Maravi says it's actually something else. It's the army where they say that Sar Tzava Ba'Le'ir, where the general has come to the city and he grabs all the whole wedding feast from what's there because he needs to feed his men, his soldiers. That's the oinus. Beyond the person's control, that would allow a wedding to be done on Monday. So the Gemara says, wait a second, hey Chadam, what's the case talking about? Either Asi, if he's coming v'cholaf and he's leaving after Wednesday, so Liyakim, this is the way Rashi explains it. Wait till the following Wednesday of the coming week. Why are you telling me you're doing the wedding on Monday? Because the general is coming and he's going to chop all the essen. So you're doing the wedding early on the Monday. Just wait till the following Wednesday. So we're talking about where he's going to park himself here for a while. So you can't just push it up till the next Wednesday. So the Gemara says, okay, but begimel mi alichnas. But okay, so get married on a Tuesday. Why are you permitting him to go ahead and do it so much earlier that you're only going to be preparing for the Suda? That means only on Sunday, and you're uprooting the Takkan of Shaktu by 2 days, just uprooted by 1 day. Why are you doing the wedding or 2 days? At least leave 1 day of leave 2 days of preparation. Why are you leaving only 1 day of preparation? Which explains that we're talking about that. You're not going to say that the general came earlier than that. It sounds like that he's coming on this Tuesday. So meaning on the Wednesday itself, and therefore you're going to do it a day earlier. Why are you doing it 2 days earlier? Why? So at least get married on Tuesday. Says the Gemara, no, because it's parvadi day. What happens is that like Biden's going to Eretz Yisrael. And they already has like 10 cars already there with the secret service and everything like this and that. So here also, what the general has, he has his men that come out, prepare all the needs for the Suda. They begimel kasu. So you're right. Although the general's coming on Wednesday, so we can't do it on Wednesday because of the oinus, because they're going to chop all the essen. They're going to say, sorry, this is executive order. We have to take all the food, and we have to take these quarters and everything. So we would do it on Tuesday. Problem is, why are we allowing it to be done on Mondays? Because he sends his men on Tuesday. So they're going to chop all the essen. So because of that, we do it already on Monday. That's one interpretation. If you want to say another interpretation, what does it mean because of oinus that allows you to do the wedding even on Monday? It's Ketanya, like we learned in Bryce, a very different concept. Regarding the chassan, that his father died on Monday. Now the wedding really, right, was never going to be done on Monday. It was supposed to be done on Tuesday because the girls have to be violated on Wednesday. So you're going to do it on Tuesday. Problem is you can't wait till tomorrow anymore because you have to wait. You're going to have to delay the dead person until you have a chuppah. Why are you going to have to delay? Which you can't. You're not supposed to leave the mess over. So you have to do the wedding now on Monday. Why is that? Why are you going to push off burying the father of the chassan who lost his father a day before his wedding? Because the tumah hareisha you pita offer. The bread was baked. The meat was slaughtered, and the wine was already diluted, already mixed in water, that it's fit for drinking. And it's not going to last. Now, a mace of Shalchasin, the father of the Chasin dies, or the mother or the bride dies, which as Rashi points out specifically, father of the Chasin, the mother of the bride. Because the father of the Chasin, father of the groom, he's the one that goes through all the tircha preparing the tzarche of the Suda. My father was making the chicken in the hall during my badeking or whatever this and that. The father of the chassan, he's the one that's busy making sure all the musicians and everything this and that. Now the mother, the kala, she's the one that prepares for the kala all her jewelry, the makeup for 4 hours that they're doing there in the hall. This is the mother, the kala. So therefore, if you're going to miss this opportunity, there's not going to be anyone to help out anymore. There's no one can take it the place of the father of the chassan or the mother, the kala. So therefore they permitted that. What's so interesting is what they do is the father Chassan died, they put him in the side room. They don't bury him. Because if they buried him, the mourning would take effect on the mourners the moment that the grave is closed. As the Gemara says later on. So then you cannot go ahead and get married until that veilus is over. You're going to lose the whole wedding because everything was already prepared. The meat was made, the bread was baked. You wait a week till after Shiva, you're done. You lost this whole thing. And the wedding's not going to be the same. And then they put the bride and the groom to the chuppah as a continued type of dalman out. Then they do what's called the terminology of the bias mitzvah, which Taisa says, why is it called bilas mitzvah? It's a well-known terminology. So Taisa says because it says a pasuk in Yeshaya, ki ba'alech oisayach, because the one who has be with you, he makes you. Which, as the Gemara says on Beis, a woman is not kareses brish, does not make a covenant, only for the man who made her into a vessel. That's how they connect. Now, if that's where they're connecting from, so that's going to bring to Perverivia because now they're feeling connected. And that's why the first B'iyah is called Bilas Mitzvah, because the mitzvah of Perverivia that comes from this first B'iyah, which that's the connection. The connection that the woman has with the husband is from that first powerful, potent act of intimacy, which is a connecting. So they do the B'iyah's mitzvah, and then the Peirush. And then they separate. Then they bury the parent who died immediately, because the moment that the chasna already took effect, where they got married, they already had the chuppah and they had the b'iyas mitzvah, it's like a regel, it's like a yom tov. So now the mourning's not going to take effect right now. So actually, they have Sheva brachas, they have the 7 days of festivities, and then and then they have the 7 days of mourning. All those days of the Sheva brachas and of the Avelis, Hu Yashin ben Anashim, the man he sleeps with the men. The He Yashena ben Anashim, she sleeps with the women, meaning they're not allowed to be secluded to have yichud one with the other, because then if they're secluded, they might cohabit. And a mourner is forbidden to have marital intimacy, as the Gemara learns in Moed Katan of Tezvav and Beis. Now, even during the Shivas Yimei HaMishta, which although we just mentioned it's like a regal, it's like a Yom Tov, and there's no Avelis on Shabbos and Yom Tov, but Avelis of Divrei Tzina, Avelis, mourning of things that are discreet, that are not out in the open, for example, intimacy, which obviously something that's discreet, actually does apply. So even by the Sheva brachas, which they're having simcha and music and everything like that, they're not going to have intimacy because it's something that's a dvam shemitzina. But ve'im minded, we don't hold back even for the mourning. Tachshitim and akalam, the jewelry and the makeup from the bride, so that she should not be disgraced on her husband. The newly married husband looks at her and says, "Hey, vey, this is what it was. I never knew this." Right? So you want to start off on the right foot with the rechte fies, and you say "Shteka the rechte fies." This also make sure she has a makeup, and that's kol shleishim yom. All those first 30 days in what we call the shleishim, even though those are days of mourning for other people, still she's allowed to wear makeup, and for sure after the shleishim. But again, this whole halacha was v'davka of v'shal chasma, specifically either the father of the groom or ima shakal or the mother of the bride. Because like in the Tarklu, there's not anyone else that can go ahead and prepare for them if they're going to lose what they prepared. But the other way around, meaning if it's the mother of the groom or the father of the bride, then you wouldn't say this halacha. Then you would say yes, you would have to lose whatever is done because you have someone that can help you out. But the mother of the bride or the father of the groom, what they prepared for this wedding, no one's going to be able to duplicate. And if you're going to lose this, they're never going to have the same chasna, and because of that, we're lenient that we put them in the side room, make the chuppah, make the b'yis mitzvah, and then you go ahead and you move on with the Sheva brachas, and then you have the Avel Sefta. Thank you to any time for hosting us.